Port.
Yep, 2 kilometers to go until that moment when, if there are any crashes, anything happens, any bit of nerves, a rider has a problem or hits the ground, then they get the same time as everybody else who finishes on the line. 5Ks to go with Trek Factory Racing looking for what they came for at this Giro d'Italia, which will be a stage win. Giacomo îdʒiːro is there, man, as the Australian team Orica Green Edge on the right-hand side and the white and navy blue come to the front. And here comes Andre Greipel in his German champions jersey, brought to the front by Adam Hansen and Greg Henderson. They're in the red jerseys. You can see Richie Porte on the left-hand side, right at the top of your shot. Second wheel for Sky in the black jersey with the blue stripe. Another of those huge roundabouts to negotiate. These will be nervous times for the GC guys now.
Yes, it's nervous times for everybody at the moment. Anybody is here in the top 30 places, you know, they all have interest, so it is nervous times with the roundabouts. You're just hoping that nothing goes wrong, because if somebody slides in front, then it becomes a problem, because to slow up, if you go for your brakes, well, you have the risk of going down as well, as we can see here. Keeping control, Trek Factory Racing, but still, you know, just holding off a bit, waiting, still with just 3.9 to go.
Trek Factory Racing on the left-hand side. Alafaci's done his job now. îdʒiːro waits as Petacchi makes it into the right place in the white and grey, all on his own. But what can he do? He has the experience. My, how he would love a 23rd stage victory and perhaps a goodbye win on the Giro d'Italia. îdʒiːro, second wheel. Just behind him you have Viviani in the black for Sky. A lot of these guys still in the bit of rain gear as well. Viviani's still got his cap on as well. Left-hand side you can see Hausler. No support men for him for Yam Cycling, but he's waiting for the moment. Two men in the lead-out train for Luca Mezgets on the left-hand side in the black. Oh, we've had a rider down which has taken a couple more. And this is a mass crash here. Several Astana riders going down, and it's just outside 3 kilometers to go. Oh dear, you're going to have to watch this, because there are time gaps. And in the meantime, going down for Trek Factory Racing, it looks as though it's Eugenio Alafaci. What a mess, Sean.
Yes, and you know, surprised to see somebody going down there, because it wasn't really, you know, getting a bit hectic. They were not pushing for spaces, but still somebody touched the wheel and down they go.
Well, îdʒiːro is safe and out the way. îdʒiːro is there. It looks as though he's the most advanced of the general classification contenders. Now, where is Alberto Contador? That's the question. There are a couple of guys on the right-hand side. Oh, Contador hits the ground again. On the right with the pink helmet, Contador hits the ground and he's looking around for a bike. There are going to be splits, there are going to be differences here. Richie Porte may well have been caught up, because there's a couple of Sky riders there as well. Once again, a crash on the Giro d'Italia, and we're going to have to wait until the finish line to do all the sums and add up exactly who was involved and see if there are any differences. It was just outside 3 kilometers to go. The big winner here could be Fabio Aru in terms of the GC.
Yes, very close to the 3 kilometers. Not sure if we had seen the 3 kilometers banner, but I reckon we were just outside it. And yeah, you know, it was just very calm, no real big nervousness in the peloton. Somebody touched the wheel there and then they just go down like Skittles.
On with the sprint, just less than 2Ks to go. Another roundabout, another nervous moment, as it's Sacha Modolo waiting on the back of this train for Lampre Merida now. Luca Paolini in the left, still got those black pyjamas on, with Poursev, the Russian champion, on his wheel. Hofland is there as well in the yellow. Ruffoni is the man in the green. Viviani there, Hausler there. îdʒiːro all isolated now and on his own. Interesting sprint this, Sean. Not too many left, but where is Andre Greipel?
Not to be seen.
Andre Greipel not in the mix at the minute. Paolini wheels off. Flat tyre for Paolini. You can see him bang his bars there, and it's up to the Russian champion Poursev now to be on the reels, ready and awaiting. Australian champion Hausler still there. At the minute, though, Sean, as we approach the last kilometre, it's Lampre Merida who are the best placed team. Yes,
well, a really good position for Lampre Merida, and of course with the wet conditions here to be, you know, in control, a real good position. But still, it's a little bit far out, you know, a kilometre to go. The guys who are down 5th and 6th place still in a real good position.
Apollonia's right in the back of this for Androni Giocattoli. Andre Greipel being brought back up now. He's one man in front of him. It looks to be Greg Henderson. 800 metres to go. Still another roundabout after this one to go, with 500 metres left. Two men still for Lampre Merida, and it looks as though Andre Greipel is going to be brought back into the mix. Remember, as far as the GC is concerned, ๊dʒiːro is there, and just after 3 hours of racing, we're all ready for a sprint to see, after this final roundabout, who will win stage 13 of the Giro d'Italia. Remember, Elia Viviani is the home boy here heading into ๊dʒiːro. He's in the black jersey, but at the minute it is advantage Lampre with 2 men to lead out their sprinter, Sacha Modolo. Greipel's going to have to do it all on his own. He gets back and onto the wheel of Modolo as well. Modolo is there ready to be led out now by Richiesi. Richiesi doing his job, and here goes Sacha Modolo through the centre. ๊dʒiːro on the wheel on his right, on the left-hand side. ๊dʒiːro trying to come round now. ๊dʒiːro against Modolo. It's Modolo, though, who takes the win. Lampre have it, and Sacha Modolo, victor on stage 13 of the Giro d'Italia. And in the meantime, it's count back for the likes of Port, for the likes of Contador. What has happened on general classification? Again, the seconds will tick by, and once more we will have general classification differences, because I think the crash occurred just outside 3 kilometers to go. Contador on the left-hand side looks as though he will take time maybe on Port. We'll see. Trying to get through, and I think we're going to have a new leader of this race. This could be the first time that Alberto Contador loses a leader's jersey in his career. And as it stands, Fabio Aru could well be going into the Maglia Rosa. We'll have to wait for Commissar's decision as to exactly where the crash took place. At the minute, though, celebration for Sacha Modolo. Modolo winning the stage. Bohème, the red jersey, coming in late. And Sean, once more, we were not denied drama.
No, certainly not, and it looked like, you know, we were going to escape any problems, but again, with the wet conditions and just one little touch of wheels and down the riders going. We see Contador coming in there, 40 seconds he's lost, so it's all down to now, were we inside the final 3 kilometres? That is the big question.
Commissars are going to have to decide that. We're waiting on Richie Port's time as well. I think Richie Port is going to come down even further. Looks like a nightmare Giro d'Italia for the Sky leader. Fabio Aru just about escaped the crash and just shows right towards the front, and you have much more chance of escaping problems.
Although the crash was very close to the front, you know, it was on the left-hand side, so it depends on, look, if you are just to the right-hand side of the road, you can escape, but it was certainly up there in the top 20-25 riders.
There's Leopold Koenig coming in. Behind you've got Bernie Eisel on his wheel. I think it's Richie Port, but we'll have to wait for confirmation again. It's not easy to see at the minute. 2 minutes down. Richie Port crossing. Oof. Well, if that has occurred outside 3 kilometers to go, then for the first time in his career, we've seen Alberto Contador lose a leader's jersey in a Grand Tour once he's gone into it, and Richie Port see his Giro d'Italia dream in absolute tatters. For now, though, the victor is Sacha Modolo, and Sacha Modolo winning at the Giro d'Italia is huge news for him and Lampre.
Yes, and they really did a good job in the final. Lampre, you know, they had the men on the front, and you know, positioning, he was in the real good position, as we can see here. You know, he had a good lead out, 2 men in front of him, and that's what you need, more so in the conditions, you know, the wet conditions. The interesting one is with the general classification, when Richie Port seems to be rolling in there, you know, not really any urgency. So ask the question, is he just totally demoralised, or were they inside the final 3 kilometres?
This is the sprint again. More about the GC in a minute. It was a great lead out by that man, Max Richiesi. 94 there, Modolo goes. The white and black on his wheel is ๊dʒiːro. Behind is Elia Viviani. As you see, Porsev as well, sprinting the Russian champion. It's a good effort from Eduard Grosu, the Romanian, as well. Looks as though he's finished in 5th. Delight for Sacha Modolo. Sacha Modolo won in Turkey the other week. It is his first ever win at the Giro d'Italia, and a huge moment in his career. Win number 34. And in 2015, just the 2nd victory. Lampre taking the sprint. Another stage win for them, and turns out that they've had a really good Giro d'Italia after 2 weeks.
Yes, a really good Giro d'Italia when you can win 2 stages, and you know, it's a great race for them. We can see Viviani there finishing 3rd, so he's done quite well. You know, he's picked up some valuable points for the points classification.
Here we go. Modolo from ๊dʒiːro, Viviani, Porsev, Grosu, Richiesi. Hofland, Ruffoni, Mesgets and Hausler. Some big name sprinters missing out. Andre Greipel not even in the top 10 on stage 13 of the Giro d'Italia. Oh, Viviani's going to like that in terms of the points classification, up in third. But ๊dʒiːro and Modolo have just given themselves both reason to hang on to the grand finale in Milan. I think the front three guys across the line here might be the three guys we see challenging for the red jersey in Milan in just over a week's time. All depends what happens in the mountains, but 50 points there for Modolo. More importantly, a stage win, and it is a day that ends very, very well for Lampre Merida. And you can see the celebration behind. A job really well done by the lead-out team. In terms of GC, for me, Alberto Contador was worried. He was sprinting to the line to try and save some time. We saw Richie Porte not bothered, as Sean said. Was he just demoralised, or was there a call on the radio from the commissars or somebody from race radio to say that time was going to be neutralised there? It was just in front of 3 Ks to go. On our counter, it was 3.3 Ks to go. Had they gone under the banner? Was the counter a little late? I have a feeling that the banner came afterwards. But what are the commissars going to rule? We have to wait, and that's the reason at the minute we're not getting a general classification. Sean, this is what happened.
Yes, we can see on the left-hand side, just a rider touched the wheel of the Lotto NL Jumbo rider, and down they go, and it just goes all the way across from left-hand side right across to the right-hand side of the road, and you know, riders just everywhere.
Contador's the man on the right side saying, come on, give me your bike, give me your bike. He's not in the pink jersey, that's underneath, and the man who gives him the bike there is the number 204. It's Chris Juul Jensen who gives him his bike. Contador is straight back on it. Good thinking from the Spaniard, and he knows if he's asking for the bike like that, he knows that they're just outside 3 Ks to go.
Well, it was a real tight one, and of course, you know, the banner, I think it depends on where they can put it, but of course the official distance of 3 kilometers exactly where was that. That would you know, be a vital one today, and Contador looked to be pushing on. He really went all the way to the line, so yes, there was certainly the difference between Contador and Richie Porte. A big difference there. Porte just rolled in, but again, you know, he's had so much bad luck. Maybe he said, well, this Giro's over for me.
What a difference a day makes. And again, it was supposed to be a day where nothing happened, where it was all just a sprint, a show and a warm-up for the time trial. Not the case inside the final 3.3 kilometers. We wait for the general classification. We wait for those changes to be applied. What are the commissars going to do? If it is indeed, as we saw on our pictures, just outside 3 Ks to go, then for the first time in his career, Alberto Contador has lost a Grand Tour leader's jersey, and Fabio Aru will lead the Giro d'Italia and will be in pink. Consider the feeling just 24 hours ago where they wanted to take pink, they wanted to go last off in the time trial, but they couldn't. Aru looking like he was cracking. Looks as though he may well be leading. Sacha Modolo, the winner though of stage 13 on the Giro d'Italia, and just look at what it means to him. Modolo to beat ๊dʒiːro, Viviani in third on home roads, and the celebrations in the Lampre camp will go on and on and on.
And in general classification, all depend on the 3 kilometers now, so we have to wait and see. But if it does hold up, that Contador roughly 40 seconds down, so it's going to mean if we were outside 3 kilometers to go, Aru will take over leadership by 23 seconds. For Contador, you know, it's not a huge loss, but every second is so important. We'll just have to wait for the decision of the commissars.
About 20 riders down. They also had to be careful, that little stream on the right hand side as well, as they were trying to stay on their bikes. A disaster. Baller caught up in the crash, you could see. I think Lobato was there as well. Movistar weren't involved in the end. Of course, on their general classification challenges too, but you have to worry. I think that's Eugenio Alafaci who's down. 214 there was Marco Coledan checking on the status of the rider. It's either a 7 or a 2 on his bike there, which would mean Eugenio Alafacci or Boy van Poppel has hit the ground. And it sounds as though the news coming in is that Alberto Contador has lost the pink jersey. The official race organisation through Twitter, 2015 for you, they have just confirmed that Fabio Aru will be the new leader of the Giro d'Italia. So no pink tomorrow for Contador, and Fabio Aru should be the new leader. There it is, Aru, 1:14 ahead of Mikel Landa. I'm not sure about this one actually. 1:38 ahead of Roman Kreuziger. We'll have to see how that goes. At the minute, it's looking like Aru, Landa, Kreuziger, the top 3. I think Contador might be higher than that, we'll see. Aru, though, is the new leader. Sacciamodolo takes victory on the line in a crash-ridden finale. 3 hours of racing with a frenetic sprint to the line. The Italian takes the win for Lamprimerida on stage 13 of the Giro. ʻdʒiːro second, Viviani third, and it's Italian 1, 2, 3. The big news here is that the Maglia Rosa's changed hands. Contador loses a pink jersey for the first time as a Grand Tour rider. Fabio Aru leads the Giro d'Italia. Commissars, bit of work to do. The countback begins. Stay tuned for Giro Extra. We'll delve in with Juan Antonio Fletcher and Ashley House and bring you all of the news as we get it.
In association with the Israel Ministry of Tourism.
Sacciamodolo wins the stage, but the big news is that Fabio Aru leads the Giro d'Italia from Alberto Contador by 19 seconds. Mikel Landa will remain in third, it seems. Roman Kreuziger fourth, Cataldo the fifth. Yuri Trofimov comes into the top 10. Lots of changes on the Giro d'Italia. The winner on the day, though, Sacciamodolo.
So, as you've just heard, two big stories today. The first, the stage win for Sacciamodolo, which we will talk about in 1 second, and the second one, that Alberto Contador, for the first time in his cycling career, has lost the leader's jersey on a Grand Tour. Juan Antonio Fletcher is here, of course. Welcome to Giro Extra. Juan Antonio, your initial reaction?
Well, I was first initial reaction. The sprint was looking quite nervous there, with riders swinging from one side of the road to the other side of the road, so it was probably not the most and the safest sprint in this Giro d'Italia. And before the sprint, that was that crash that caused Alberto Contador splitting and also getting involved with that crash. But he crashed 3.1 Ks, 3.2 Ks to the finish, so he couldn't actually apply to that rule, last 3 Ks rule.
Absolutely. Let's go back to the sprint victory today then for Sacciamodolo. 5 times the Giro d'Italia has had a stage finish in ʻdʒiːro, and 5 times an Italian victor. The top 3 today were all Italians. And talk to us about the sprint in that final 450 metres.
Well, lead out train from Trek, it's been fantastic. That was looking from the outside like the perfect team, especially on the timing, because we haven't seen Lotus so that they tried, but they were quite far back. But Lamprimerida, they were like perfect timing and like the strength in numbers, especially at the end. And Riquese, he did a fantastic job leading, being the last man leading out Modolo. And finally, it was up to Modolo to do it. It looked a little bit weird, like the way Modolo, I have to say, the way he was sprinting. He didn't never stick to one side. I mean, as soon as you have sprinters, when they start sprinting, they have to stick to that position. We've seen many times like Cavendish being disqualified in swinging from one side of the road from the other side. So again, I'm not calling for anything, but of course, if we go back to the rules story, I mean, it's not always apply the rules. So
okay, well, we'll talk more about that in just a moment. Let's just watch Sacciamodolo go on the podium for the stage victory.
Victory number 33 in the career of Sergio Modolo. First time at the Giro d'Italia. Won his first World Tour race last year as well. It's been a nice progression for the Italian. And it's an Italian 1-2-3 today. ๊dʒiːro second. Viviani was the man to finish third. And it's the mayor of Jesolo who gives Modolo his prize. A big day for him, a big day for Lampre. And there are the results. Lampre in first, Trek Factory Racing second, Team Sky in third. Modolo enjoying himself on a day that he will remember for the rest of his life. Super sprint for Sergio Modolo, and time to enjoy himself on the podium. We're heading to Prosecco country tomorrow, and it's time for Modolo to pop the cork a day early. We saw Lisi win in Fuji. It's Modolo who wins in Jesolo, and after several showers on the bike today, he gives himself another one. This time, it'll taste a little sweeter. Modolo, the winner of stage 13.
So Sergio Modolo on the podium there for today's stage victory. Juan Antonio, let's talk though about the news that will get the headlines tomorrow, and that is Alberto Contador losing time on Fabio Aru. Fabio Aru now in the Maglia Rosa, but of course it was due to a crash just outside the 3 kilometer limit. How did you see the crash? What happened? And is there any controversy about it at all in terms of how close it was to the 3K?
Yeah, it was pretty close to the 3K's banner, but it was, I think it all started because, remember, it was Trek Factory team running in the front. At the end, like 4.7Ks to the final, was just Boy Van Poppel and ๊dʒiːro in the front. So the complete team was done, except of those 2 guys. So that made, like, Boy Van Poppel, he found himself probably too far from the finish line already there. And he started to swing from one side to the other side of the road, and that creates a lot of confusion in the bunch. And that was probably what created that crash. I mean, I'm just talking about what I saw and the way I see things sometimes. And so, and the car itself was pretty much in the front of the bunch. So actually, Alberto was well positioned. He doesn't need to be top 10 at that point, so he was quite safe, but still being there, it was a narrow road, so, and he couldn't get away of that crash. We saw him kind of trying to go on the grass and avoid it, but he couldn't avoid that crash, and unfortunately he lost time again. But now Aru is in pink, so it's just funny how quick things change in the Giro. I mean, if you look at yesterday, many people was not trusting Aru anymore, not thinking, he's a contender or he's not good, and today he's in pink, so that's crazy.
And of course, we did hear from Fabio Aru this morning. You say he's in pink, let's see him get it.
A big moment in the career of Fabio Aru. Maglia Rosa, pink jersey at his home Giro d'Italia. He leads, and what a difference that 24 hours make. Gets his jersey from Luca ๊dʒiːro. A strange one to give out the leader of the Tour of Italy, given the fact that he's a regional, almost separatist politician. He's the president of the Venetian region. And Luca ๊dʒiːro gives out the pink jersey to the man of the moment from Sardinia, Fabio Aru. The first time that Alberto Contador has ever lost a jersey in the Grand Tour. Long way to go though. Contador's shown that he's been the strongest over the last few days. What will the pink jersey do to Fabio Aru though? Will it give him something extra for the time trial? Will we see him again tomorrow evening in the pink jersey? It's a big question. It depends on how both perform in that very, very long time trial to Valdobbiadene. He'll enjoy this for the minute. Fabio Aru is the new leader. Aru leads by 19 seconds from Contador now, with Mikel Landa in third at 1:14. Kreuziger's at 1:38 in fourth, with Cataldo at 1:49. What to watch in the time trial tomorrow. Uran now up to sixth at 2:02. Caruso still there, with Amador and Visconti conserving their positions in the top 10. Trofimov moves in and he is 10th at 3:15. Big loser on the day as well, Richie Porte, who looks like he's lost a heck of a lot more time. Giro d'Italia challenge, you'd have to think, for Richie Porte, is over.
Well, there are always talking points at the Giro Italia, and don't forget we still have, what, 8 stages to go. Fabio Aru now in pink, he's 19 seconds, as you've just seen, ahead of Alberto Contador. How do you see this GC race now?
Well, of course it looks from outside, it looks way more interesting than it was yesterday, because now just the fact of leader jerseys switching from one rider to the other one, and so I just see it funny, like today no one probably remembers about the 14 seconds of Aru's lost yesterday, and yeah, it's just again adding more interest to the race itself, the fact that it's changing the leader jersey.
Yeah, it is extraordinary, isn't it, how quickly people are to jump to conclusions. And then this happens today. You can never, ever predict what happens. Let's talk about Richie Porte, though, finishing more than 2 minutes behind Fabio Aru, losing time again. And the commentators saying that he just rolled over the line, pedaling almost as if he's shrugging his shoulders.
Yeah, it was completely different behavior from Richie Porte and from Alberto Contador. I mean, we've seen Alberto really trying to lose as less seconds as possible at the finish line, but on the other hand, Richie Porte was completely different. And we don't know, it's probably very hard for him what it just happened this win, so he's just probably just thinking about tomorrow.
Yeah, indeed he will. We're going to talk more about Richie Porte in just a moment, but let's welcome onto Giro Extra right now the stage winner from today, from Lampremerida, Sacha Modolo is here.
Sacha Modolo, complimenti per la vittoria.
Well done for the victory, Sacha Modolo, congratulations. The team did a great job today. Perfect sprint. Well, perfect no, because there was the crash, of course. Ferrari was involved. Because, of course, Ferrari was going to have a big job, and, of course, there was a puncture as well. Thankfully, there were, of course, a few curves and things, and all the road furniture as well, so it didn't make it too simple, and I have to thank a couple of my teammates for doing the job of 2 people. Really, really big win there. It was really, really slidey on the way in.
Per partire tanti hanno scivolato un po' di dietro. A te siete visto un po' andare destra, sinistra.
Of course you went right, left.
Oppure vi siete trovati? Parlo sulla linea del traguardo.
No, sulla linea del traguardo mi sembrava anche buono, sì, fuori dalla curva nel rilanciare mi partiva un po'.
When I got to the finish line, of course it was a bit of a movement. I'm not sure if I've moved left or right or deviated really. When I got on the pedals, I maybe moved to one side, but with the roundabout in the way, it was really difficult. There's a lot of movement anyway, and we just did it as we wished.
Grazie, Sasha, grazie. So interesting, Sacha Modolo, Juan Antonio, you asked him there about his racing line in the final sprint, and you talked about Mark Cavendish earlier on having been penalised for that. If you were îdʒiːro or Trek Factory Racing, would you appeal? Would you try and do something?
No, I mean, probably not. At the end, it's the riders that being there, and it's been quite a dangerous final with the slippery. Probably with Sacha Modolo happened, he just say, I just came out of the corner, was slippery, and there were these white lines over there, which makes it even more slippery. And it's hard to say. I mean, it's hard to say. It has to be the rider itself telling, well, that's been dangerous, that closed me to the victory. But the fact is that Sacha, he really won easily. I mean, he was a bike length in front of îdʒiːro. It's different situation with Cavendish. Sometimes did a little bit some change of movements. I mean, you have to analyze every situation to decide whether if it's good or right or wrong.
Okay, well, it's Sacha Modolo certainly who's given the stage victory, of course. Before that, we heard from him. We were talking about Richie Porte. Let's hear from Richie Porte now after the stage.
Richie, what's happened?
What's happened?
You crashed with everybody.
Yeah.
Too fast?
Oh, I mean, it's just how it is today. It's wet and nervous, and it wasn't really a big surprise. It was a crash, to be honest.
Thank you.
he speaks English, so you can start.
Okay, we're very pleased, of course, to be joined by Elia Viviani here from Team Sky. We've just heard from Richie Porte, Elia, but you've got the red jersey back today, and now you think you can hold it all the way to Milan?
Yeah, sure, the red jersey is my big focus after win the stage, and so Richie, I think, lose more time today after a crash. Sure, it's not lucky Giro d'Italia for him, but I think we wait tomorrow with a big time trial, and then after Madonna di Campiglio stage, he can decide what he want to do for the rest of the Giro d'Italia, sure. But the red jersey is a big focus for me and for the team. Maybe now I have more guys for helping me on the sprint, but I think it's better wait this weekend for the side hole.
Do you definitely think that that's how Dave Brailsford and Dario Cioni might change their focus now? You think that would be a good way to go?
Oh, Dario give me all the support I need, and so in the final stage today we see it's dangerous. It's dangerous with the rain, and Hazel help Richie because he need help. But so another crash. So we are not lucky for GC in the Giro, no.
Okay, Elia, thank you very much indeed. Congratulations on the red jersey, and good luck keeping it for as long as possible to Milano. Thank you very much. Juan Antonio, very interesting that Elia Viviani there saying that maybe now he will have more people to help him keep that red jersey.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how interest in the teams are. I mean, it almost second week finish, how it just curious how things are changing already in the team and how the main goals are. I mean, Richie, he had bad luck with that flat tire. He's having again bad luck today, and the team is, well, whether, you know, supporting more Elia Viviani for the sprints and for that red point jersey, or giving some shelter and supporting Richie Porte, which is the GC guy. I think it's still a lot to go. Probably it's hard for the team to decide what to do, but the fact is that things have changed quite a lot there.
It's true, and of course we don't know at all. Bad luck then, certainly good luck rather for Elia Viviani today. Very bad luck for Richie Porte, but also terrible luck for Alberto Contador.
Yeah, there's no tranquil, calm day whatsoever. We were really, really well placed in the stage, but you could see the crash coming. And of course, from 3 kilometers, you can have time neutralized, but we're just outside that. Of course, first of all, I tried to see if I was okay, and then I just thought about getting a bike, any bike. I don't think that the loss has been too much. Of course, those seconds cost a lot to get back, but the thing that most worries me is, of course, my injury, but I think I'm okay. Yeah, I think I can make the time up.
Las molestias en el hombro, supongo que el hombro no ha sido tocado la caída.
You didn't affect your shoulder in the crash, no, did you? You're thinking about the time trial tomorrow? Yeah, when you crash, you automatically put yourself in quite a rigid position as a defense mechanism. Of course, the shoulder hurts, but I want to think positively. Just thinking getting better from this crash. Of course, make sure that I get some ice on it to make sure that it doesn't get too inflamed, and I'm okay for tomorrow.
Alberto Contador there, pleased that he's not lost too much time. It's only 19 seconds, Juan Antonio, and of course the mountain stages are coming.
It's almost nothing. I mean, this morning we're talking about the Arus 14 seconds. Almost nothing, but it's still 19 seconds. You never know when you're going to need them or not. But this is the Giro. It's been like crazy and dangerous sometimes. Many things are happening every day. It seems like still is going to happen in the future in the coming weeks. So just think and can't wait about tomorrow's time trial. That will define a little bit more the GC. That's something that probably even the riders, they want to have it more defined with more gaps in between the riders. That will have it tomorrow, I think. That's my opinion. And then with the mountains, I think the forces in between the main guys are more equal. I think they can climb pretty much similar, Fabio Aru and Alberto. We don't know about Richie. I mean, Richie, he just needs, I think Richie, okay, had bad luck. He lost a lot of time just because of that. But he needs to believe, he needs to trust that his condition is still there. I mean, why not? The fact that things are going on and the things that crashes are happening, why not? It can happen for Richie also. Maybe not. I mean, of course, it's probably going too far thinking about pink jersey, but why not? He needs to try to get into the top 3 because he's still capable of doing that.
Absolutely, he is. Let's see again how the general classification stands right now, though.
Here is your general classification with Fabio Aru 19 seconds ahead of Alberto Contador. Mikel Landa in third, but look out for Rigoberto Urán tomorrow in the time trial. He's at 2 minutes and 2. One of the favourites to take the stage alongside Richie Porte. If he is up there, if he produces a top time trial, remember he's the national time champion now of Colombia. If he is up there, then he could well move up into the top 3. Andre Amador also strong against the clock. He's in 8th at 2 minutes and 21. Not a serious contender, surely, when you get to the high mountains, though. With Giovanni Visconti in 9th, Yuri Trofimov 10th. All the big news, though, right at the top. Aru is the new leader. Contador almost 20 seconds back.
So there it is, confirmation that Fabio Aru is indeed in that pink jersey, and we'll be speaking to the Italian Astana rider in just a few moments' time. But for him, how does this change his mentality?
I'm sure that this is bringing a big smile on him. We've just seen him like smiling, completely different to yesterday. He's sitting.
Here he is, in fact.
Yeah.
Here he is, in fact. Fabio, grazie, auguri. So here we are with the pink jersey, Fabio Aru from Team Astana today. He's gained the jersey today, and of course, I'm sure he'll be incredibly happy.
Fabio, non ti vogliamo... Abbiamo visto che stai recuperando ancora forze.
We've seen that you're already getting forces back and getting strength back, eating. We don't want to bother you too much. But of course, we saw you yesterday struggling. How are you feeling today? Yeah, yesterday was a hard day, a nasty day for me. And of course, I didn't eat enough and I paid for it in the end. I just wanted to be at the front today, and you could see it was a very difficult finish. I want to say thanks to all my team for making sure I was at the front, and I'm really happy.
Quello che a me è piaciuto da vedere è che dopo quello
what I like seeing is that, of course, after yesterday, the eating crisis that you had, the way that you looked after yourself, tomorrow we've got the real day of truth. Yeah, it's a really important day tomorrow. It's a long time trial, so I don't know what to think really, but I want to try and recover to the maximum capability I can. Of course, Giro 3 weeks long. We've had a few bad days, a few good days, and it's all about getting back on your feet. Will the Maglia Rosa give you whatever bit more that you need tomorrow? Yes, I'm going to give my maximum.
He's forgotten his umbrella, so there we go. We've got a Team Astana umbrella for Fabio Aru. In pink, happy. Of course, he must be satisfied that all the talk of his crisis of hunger, as you mentioned there, has gone away. But you also talked with him, of course, about tomorrow's time trial.
Yeah, I mean, it's just funny the way he was smiling. I mean, it's a completely different situation for him today than it was yesterday. And I really think and really believe that the pink jersey tomorrow, that will give him an extra power, an extra positiveness, an extra smile, the way everything, because it's very hard after such a hunger flight like he had yesterday and losing the time, being in that attitude today. That's what he showed, and that attitude bring him a bonus, and that bonus is the pink jersey. What else you can want? I mean,
it's certainly the best bonus that he could have had going into tomorrow's time trial. Let's see how the profile of tomorrow's stage looks. It's very long and a bit hilly.
Around 60 kilometers, stage 14, Treviso to Valdobbiadene, 59.2 to be exact. Individual time trial, hills are there, and it's a really difficult finish in Prosecco country. So long, so difficult. We'll be popping the cork at the end of the day.
So that's what tomorrow's time trial looks like, nearly 60 kilometres. It is a very long time trial. We've just spoken to Fabio Aru, and we know he's been working hard in the wind tunnels in California. What do you expect that we can expect from him?
A lot, actually. You know, in cycling, every time you're having a hunger flat, it's like your body kind of wants to restore more energy, and that's like a natural effect of having a hunger flat. And I would like to say that probably what happened to him yesterday could actually help him tomorrow, because his muscles are more full of energy or carbohydrates because of that fact. So I think we will have a surprise with Fabio Aru, because we're more thinking on Alberto, but plus of the hunger flat, I need to add the fact that he's wearing that pink jersey. And we're in Italy, and he's a young guy, and a lot of emotion will go on that situation from tomorrow, especially for him. So I think we'll have a surprise with Fabio Aru tomorrow.
Juan Antonio, thank you as always. Thank you for watching Giro Extra this evening as well. Tomorrow then, it is that time trial. Alberto Contador, the aura of invincibility when he wears that leader's jersey in a Grand Tour, has disappeared today, and he goes behind Fabio Aru. We'll see you tomorrow, of course, on Eurosport Live, the home of cycling.
Stage 14 tomorrow. Who will follow Sacciamodolo onto the stage winners podium? Richie Porte out of the GC. Can he bounce back? Can he put himself into contention if the others have a nightmare? Lots to talk about. Remember, join us live for it. 14:30 Central European time on Saturday. That's on Eurosport International. If you're watching on British Eurosport, that is 1:30 just after lunch. Sean Kelly will be alongside me, Rob Hatch. For now, for today, thanks for joining us, and we leave you with the image of Sacciamodolo, winner of stage 13 of this 98th Giro d'Italia.